That's one of the best podcasts ever. Ever. Top 5 dead or alive.
Welcome to Pod Caviar. I'm your host, Tony, coming at you live from the Empire of Caviar studios located in beautiful Los Angeles, California. And welcome to 2022. Happy New Year. I know this is the first episode of the new year. We took a couple weeks off. Last week was my birthday, so I wasn't really in a podcasting mood. My birthday was great, though. I ate good. I shopped. I actually gave back and bought the people closest to me some things. And that's something that I haven't done before. So sometimes, it's good to give back. So why am I hearing... I'm having some audio issues. Hold on. It's weird. Hold on. It's almost like a weird echo, or like a some sort of delay. But I think we'll be good. Man, this thing is so high. Hold on. Let me see if I can drop that down some. Drop down the volume. Was that volume? Is that it? Okay. All right. So. Great episode coming up today. We're going to be talking about an urban legend and just urban legends in general. I'm still trying to get the... I don't know, man. Did we need a theme for this season? What did we do before? What were the other... I can look this up right now on Libsyn. Anybody that's wanting to start a podcast... You're going to need equipment, and you're going to need a website to host and push out your podcast to many different platforms. Libsyn is what I use. This isn't an ad. This is just me talking. Libsyn. $15 a month makes Pod Caviar the most widely available podcast in the world, and I take full advantage of these services. And I've never really had a problem with Libsyn. There'll be times where I would run out of space, so I wouldn't upload 4 episodes a month. It'd be 3, but I mean, look, man, it don't get much better than that. What are we at? We had the last one. Can AI kill deaths? Does universal basic income work? Roswell UFO theory debunked. Yeah. But today now we're going to be talking about urban legends. So I went on Wikipedia. I looked up. Okay, let me rewind it back before then. We recently watched this show on Hulu called Sasquatch. And it was a docuseries about Sasquatch. The story, I don't want to ruin it, but the story went crazy. It took a wild left turn. And it became bigger than Sasquatch. There's people that still believe that Sasquatch is real. I want to believe, and I know there's like a lot of land, and I know there's a lot of woodland and all this, and you're not going to be able to I don't know. You can go out into the woods, you get lost. Maybe you become a Sasquatch. I don't understand. If Sasquatch is a real thing, it's got more than enough room to hide, right? We've never... See, my thing is, we've never come across a dead Sasquatch. We've never came across a what is it, carcass, corpse, a bone, nothing, right? Without ruining the docuseries, one of the things that they did bring up that I agree with is a lot of people have been in the woods. If you've been in the woods, you've been in the woods, right? How many dead bears have you seen? How many dead deer have you seen? Where did these animals go to die, and why don't we really see them ever? I was like, okay, I get that. There is tons of land, right? And in the docuseries Sasquatch, it was based in California. And if you're familiar with California, or if you live here, or like, you know, you're just in love with woodlands, then you would know there's a lot of woodlands in California, like a lot of woodlands in California, right? So there's a lot of places for Sasquatches. Is it Sasquatches? Sasquatch? Bigfoot? Big feet? There's a lot of places for these animals to hide. If they're real, are they smart enough to evade humans? See, if we really got a group of people together, and let's say it's like 2,000 people, and like, let's say the government funded them, and they like go into these woods and find proof of Bigfoot, or find a body, or come back and let us know that it's fake, it's not real, it's an urban legend, and we can move on. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the best option to debunk or prove this urban legend. I'm leaning towards, no, it's not real. There was a guy in the docuseries who said he saw one, and when he was telling his story, he was visibly shaken and like really torn up about it. And I was like, man, I don't know. He might have seen something. Maybe he did see one. Maybe they are real. But like the thing I said about UFOs in the Roswell episode is like, do you think that in 2022 we have all this technology? We have drones, we have cell phones, we have, you know, cameras, 4K resolution, 8K resolution. We have all that. But we still don't have any solid evidence that there is a Bigfoot, there is a skunk ape, there is a, what was the other thing called? In Asia, they're called Yetis or Australian Yowies. On the scientific side, like, are they scientists? I don't know what to call them, but like, you know, the smart people that go out and do shit, experiments or whatever, they're always like finding new species of insects. It'll be like like a spider or a slug or a butterfly or some shit like that. And we've seen animals that we thought were extinct show up again, right? And so you take that with the size of our planet and the areas of our planet that we haven't inhabited. So like the woodlands or the icelands or the marshlands or whatever, wherever humans don't normally go. I mean, it could be, you know, but the only thing that we have on Bigfoot is the Patterson Gimlin film that does the, it had the iconic look back, walk, one arm in the front, one arm in the back, wide stride. And that was all we have on Bigfoot, right? Apparently it's fake. They paid a guy $1,000 to put on the suit, and that guy in the suit, that's what Bigfoot is. Those guys said that they rode every day looking for Bigfoot for like 4 days, right? 4 days straight. And then on the 4th day, miraculously, they saw a Bigfoot. They didn't chase after it. They didn't go after it. They didn't pursue it. They didn't do anything. There was nothing. They just filmed it, packed it up, and went home. Really, humans are curious creatures. We are. And if somebody was telling you for years that something didn't exist and you saw it, would you let it just walk away without trying to get as much footage as possible, a reaction, trail it back to its hideout, find out if it's just one or more? Do we have footage of what appears to be a Bigfoot? Yeah. Is it a guy that got paid $1,000 to put on the suit? Probably. Now, after we saw the docuseries, Nicole was like, now watch, we're going to find a dead Bigfoot. Somebody's going to find a dead Bigfoot out in the woods somewhere. And then it's going to be proven. And everybody's going to be like, what? And I was like, you know what? I'm with it. At some point, we're gonna get to the bottom of Bigfoot, UFOs, the Philadelphia experiment, all these urban legends, right? And maybe we'll just spend the rest of this season on Pod Caviar going through this list. And Wikipedia has a comprehensive list from A to Z, 0 to 9 of urban legends. Listen to some of these things. Wait, before we get back to the Sasquatch, listen to what they have. Bigfoot, Black Aggie, Black Angel, Black Volga, the Dark Watchers. Ooh, that sounds interesting. The Dover Demon is a folklore legend that describes a creature reportedly sighted in the town of Dover, Massachusetts on April 21st and April 22nd, 1977. Let me go ahead and just open that in a new tab because that sounds very interesting. The Mackenzie poltergeist. I'm skipping ahead, but this list is huge. This is enough content to last us for this season and next season and maybe another season after that, right? So the Mackenzie poltergeist is the supposed restless spirit of George Mackenzie, an infamous figure in Scottish history who engaged in merciless oppression of religious minorities to the extent a portion of the graveyard of Greyfriars Kirkyard he haunts is dedicated, somewhat ironically, to his countless victims. Okay. All right, Mr. Mackenzie poltergeist. But yeah, back to Bigfoot. Oh shit, let me go back to it. Hold on. To be honest, I think that there's there's species of animals that we haven't found yet. Okay. But I just don't feel like a Bigfoot is one of those things, man. I think it's just something that somebody made up. Because listen, you have Bigfoot in America. You got the skunk ape from Florida. You got the Yeti in Asia and the Australian Yowie. Let's click on that. Oh shit! No. Nope. Damn, what happened? Ooh. Yowie is one of several names for an Australian folklore entity reputed to live in the outback. And they always live in these big ass land masses that people just don't go in. And that helps fuel the urban legend fire, because there's not many people in the outback. Australia is a continent. It's huge. You know, California is a big ass state. And there are acres and acres and miles and just you could just climb the tallest redwood tree in California and you just see nothing but forest. And it's just, you're not going to be able to search all of that. You'll die before you search, before you find a Yeti or anything like that, or Bigfoot in this case. You can't. You're not going to be able to do it. That's why I said, even if you had 2,000 people and the funding from a government, it's still going to take a long time. I mean, it's just, and that's what helps keep these urban legends going. And for Yowie, the creature has its roots in Aboriginal oral history in parts of Queensland. They are known as Quinkin. Oh, wow. They just keep going. Okay, yeah. It's called different names depending on which region you are and which, crew you run with. So it says the Yowie is usually described as a hairy and ape-like creature. That's something that is present in Bigfoot, Yowie, and Yeti. So it's a hairy, tall, muscular, ape-like creature. The Yowie's feet are described as much larger than humans. And it says when it stands upright, it's 6'11". So I'm surprised the NBA haven't found him yet, huh? Remember that show, Harry and the Hendersons? I used to love that show, Harry and the Hendersons. This says film. I thought it was a show. The Henderson family adopt a friendly Sasquatch, but have a hard time trying to keep the legend of Bigfoot a secret. I used to love that as a kid, bruh. It was a movie? It wasn't a show? Oh, yeah, TV series. Oh, it's on Roku. Wait. Watch it on Prime Video. I might have to do that. But anyway, yeah, like I was saying, like they're always gonna have they're tall, almost 7 feet tall, muscular ape-like creatures, and they live in these desolate areas. Everybody knows of them. Very few people have actually seen one, and the people that have seen one, I don't know, because to me it's like, what? But see, even in the docuseries, there were people that were like, no, I've seen one. And what they do is, and the whole reason that this came about is that people would go out into these wooded areas in California and they would set up weed farms, illegal weed farms. Well, when you set up, you take land and then you have your farm, well, you're encroaching on Bigfoot territory. And then what happened was they would do these charge and bluff and like try to scare the people away. This is what they said in the docuseries, right? I know I'm talking a lot about it and I'm spilling a lot of info, but really this is just the tip of the iceberg. When you watch it, you're going to be like, oh shit, yeah, he wasn't bullshitting. But what got me was a lot of the stories that were told about Bigfoot were made up to scare certain people away from setting up or coming into that territory so they can like set up their own weed stuff or their own weed farms or whatever. So it would make sense to have these wild stories of a crew of Big feet, doing these charged bluffs where they like charge at you, but then retreat back into the woods, and then charge at you again, and then retreat back into the woods, and then, try to scare you away. Kind of like how sometimes animals do it, sometimes dogs do it. I guess bears could do it too, maybe, depending on the what is it, breed? Do bears go by breed? I don't know. And sometimes animals do that, and we've seen evidence of this. Watch any animal documentary. If you got land and your crew is on the land, you don't want people coming on your land, bro. So you're gonna be like, hey man, get out of here. I'm gonna scare you. Whoa, sorry. I'm gonna scare you and try to get you out of here. And you heard that from Bigfoot. But that's really it. A lot of the stories that you hear about it is word of mouth. Besides the video, which is questionable as fuck, you don't really hear much else. There's not much evidence. There was a show that I watched where it's like, it was one of those A&E shows or something. One of those shows where they're like, we're a team of investigators and we're going to find evidence of Bigfoot. And it was like a couple strands of hair that were tested and came back inconclusive or some stupid shit like that. So it's like, well, what did you really find? What did you really find? Because if you know for a fact that a Bigfoot is in that area, then why don't you just set up a bunch of cameras and chill? Make a bait. They have to eat, right? What do they eat? I've hunted before. I know how to trap, lure. It's not difficult. You find out what they eat. If people have all these crazy stories, these word of mouth stories about Bigfoot, they don't know what they eat. There's no lead on the habitat. There's nothing. So you mean to tell me this big ape-like muscular animal that's 7 foot tall, it's enough. You have. And it was so weird and cheesy. You knew it was fake because it was like a board with some nails through it, and apparently the Bigfoot stepped on it or something, or brushed up against it, maybe to scratch his back or something, and it left some hair. But there's no tracks. You have no video proof. There's nothing. So in the middle of this area, your house is sitting here. You set up a trap, quote unquote, for Bigfoot. Bigfoot came out, scratched his back, left some hair. There's no footprints. There's no nothing. There's no tracks. There's nothing. You got nothing. You got nothing. You got nothing. Right? That's all you have? And I'm supposed to believe that this creature is real? I'm not saying they ain't. I'm not saying they're not real. For all I know, they could be very fucking real. But then it's like, there has to be more. There has to be more, right? And like, why wouldn't they want to be known? What could we possibly? Oh, maybe we'll hunt them, because humans like hunting things. So, yeah, maybe that's why. Survival of the fittest. Maybe they know humans will hunt, and they do not want to be hunted. So you get in a position of, because they're not like bears. If you're going through the woods and you see a bear, you could probably scare the bear off. You could have bear pepper spray or whatever. If it's a black bear, it's probably going to be scared of you anyway, right? Brown bears probably eat you. So I figure if you have a 7 foot tall, muscular, ape-like creature that's like snapping people in half, then yeah, we're gonna have to go in there and find them and get them out of here. So maybe that's what it is. Looking at both sides of it, I'm still leaning towards no, they don't exist. But on the other side, you can't have. I really don't understand, or like I'm leaning towards maybe there is some sort of, what is it? Damn, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a group, the scientific term. There's a, oh my God, what is the name? What is the name? Okay, well, anyway, it'll come to me and then I'll be like, oh yeah. So yeah, maybe there is some sort of loose group of creatures that that live in these certain areas of the world. That way you can have a Yeti in Asia, a Bigfoot in America, a skunk ape in Florida. And I know Florida's part of America, but Florida is a whole different ball game. So, and then you have the Yowie in Australia. So I guess if they're real, then they would be part of the same species. That's what I was thinking of, species. And loosely related. Just like you got different breeds of dogs, you can have different breeds of Sasquatches or whatever they were called. I don't know. And they live in these different areas. And they all instinctively know how to like stay recluse, stay out of the way, which is something that we've seen in animals before. It's not unheard of to get a breed or like a species of animal that's like, I'm just going to chill in my room. I'm only going to come out when I need to come out. So if they're real, they're really good at hiding, obviously. And we've never seen a dead one. But like I said, how many dead bears have you seen? I mean, you'll see dead deer here and there. Most of the time they've gotten hit by a car and they're like on the side of the road. If you're in the woods, maybe you'll see one. Maybe. But typically speaking, you don't really see that many dead animals laying around, man. So what I'm saying is if you get it would answer the question immediately if we found one. And if big feet have been around for years and decades in all these, it seems like they've been around longer than humans. Maybe, look, check it out. Hear me out. Maybe they are the humans before humans. Because remember, they always used to say we came from monkeys. Maybe we came from big feet. I'm just saying. Because they don't have hands for feet. They got big feet, right? And they can stand up straight and they can walk around and do all this stuff that humans do, but aren't human. I'm just saying. Think about it and let me know what you think. So the next episode we're gonna dive more into urban legends, and we're gonna get through this list and we're gonna talk about them. I'm gonna give my thoughts on it, and I'm gonna walk it through like we've always done on this podcast. But you're not gonna know if you don't subscribe, so you got to subscribe to Pod Caviar. It's the most widely available podcast in the world, so wherever you get your podcast from, you can get Pod Caviar. If not, hit me up on Twitter at Not Having It and let me know, and I'll do everything in my power to get Pod Caviar on this weird service that you get podcasts from that I probably never heard of before. It's all good. Can't be the most widely available podcast in the world if it's not the most widely available podcast in the world. And you got 2 ears, so we got 2 podcasts, the other being 1 Gram Army Podcast. The sponsor of this lovely podcast. We just did an episode yesterday. It was great. We hopped back into it. Like I said, Graham took a little hiatus at the end of the year, and it was much needed. He came back refreshed. It was energized. We just hit the ground running, and we had a great episode. And I think it's available now. I think he posted it already. So check out the 1 Gram Army Podcast. Subscribe to the 1 Gram Army Podcast. Subscribe to Pod Caviar. Subscribe to Game Caviar on Twitch. Twitch.tv/Not Having It. And listen, you know who else is on Twitch? The 1 Gram Army. You got to subscribe to all of this. In 2022, we see that Graham and I are really pushing to take our brands to the next level. And speaking of brands, go to shortcaviar.com. Just scroll down to the bottom of the first page. Drown yourself into the art. I'm going to take some of the best and popular designs from the past year. I'm going to put them on canvas prints so that you can hang them up on the wall. I got some hanging up on the wall in the living room, and they look amazing. If you want, you can use code OG8 for 10% off your order at shirtcaviar.com. I've been in the lab. I've been cooking up some great designs. I haven't posted them yet because I'm just taking my time and making sure I do it right, and I'm not like oversaturating the website. But yeah, man, listen, 2022 is going to be big for Pod Caviar and 1 Gram Army. Just the Empire of Caviar and the 1 Gram Army. We're going to do big things, and we want you to be there. You're going to miss out on all of it if you don't subscribe. So do that and let me know what you think about Bigfoot, if you think they're real, if you think they're fake, and your thoughts on it. And then in the next episode, we'll dive into another urban legend and get to the bottom of that too. But I got to get out of here. Thank you for listening to this episode of Pod Caviar. I've been your host, Tony. Peace.